So it was revealed earlier today that West Ham's number one striker target for January is supposedly Boulaye Dia of FC Reims. I've never heard of him. I've never heard of him until about a week ago. So if you've come for an insight in the striker, forget it. You ain't getting that. But you want an insight into Gio's thoughts of perhaps the transfer and a few other things tied in. Something that's been not bugging me, but it's making me a little bit impatient. Then you're in the right place. But as for the player, it was revealed earlier today, he's David Moyes' choice. Well, is he? We'll get on to that in a second. That's what I'm here to talk about. Now, a lot of people run out and have a little Google, see who this player's about. Go on his YouTube, watch a few highlight videos, a little bit of trickery with some music going on. I don't do that. What I do, I look at the statistics. I like my numbers. Now, I know they don't tell everything. I know they don't tell the truth. But what they do, in my opinion, is to give indicators. They allow you to have a little look. So his numbers are okay. His top goal scorer in the league, that's promising, right? I'm a little bit concerned that 5 of his goals are from penalties. It's not a concern as such, but it's a bit like, well, without them we'd only have 7. Is it good? It's all right, but that's all it is. His shooting accuracy and stuff's not too bad. Looks all right. Doesn't create many chances. Does not create many chances. His passing success is really good, but that would indicate he plays it safe all the time. However, the two stats, the two indicators, which is promising for someone that has never heard of Boulaye Dia until about a week ago. I don't mind admitting the French league something I've never really got much knowledge of. But anyway, with Boulaye Dia, is that Riaz plays like a similar formation to we do, but they play a similar system, and he plays in a lone striker. So that's good. He's ticking a box that Sebastian Haller perhaps didn't tick at Frankfurt, which can you play up front on your own? Boulaye Dia, by looking at it, suggests yes. Yes, he can. But the second thing is, which is interesting, is his current club don't have the ball very much. They have just on average just under 45% possession per game, similar to what West Ham has posted under David Moyes. And I think that's important. I think that's crucial here, because you don't want to get a guy that's used to the team having 60% possession coming here and all of a sudden we've not got the ball very much. It looks like someone who's playing for almost like the French version of West Ham at the minute, if that makes sense. Just looking at the numbers only. I don't watch French football. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about the player, so apologies if you've come for that. So that's just the rumour. But what is important to me is it David Moyes' choice? There's two things I want to discuss. The first one is, it's got to be David Moyes' choice. Is it? I'm not convinced. We know David Moyes likes to go and watch players. We know he likes to go physically sit down and watch them himself. And he can't do that. He can't do that at the minute. But you can also say that for Sofal and Solchek. Say, well, he never got to go see him. So something's working. So I don't know how. But if this is the number one target for West Ham United, I just hope that it's got David Moyes' seal of approval. Because we do not need to see another Saïd Benrahma situation. Whereas we all knew Saïd Benrahma wasn't David Moyes' choice. He's come in and it's not been a success so far. I still think Benrahma's got a big future at West Ham. I still think he'll start more games in the second half of the season as he has to in the first half. You'll soon start scoring goals first and getting assists in that. But it's taken a long time to get there. It's taken 6 months to get to this point. We're halfway through the season. We've not seen anything from Benrahma yet. We can't afford to do that with whatever striker comes in. The striker that comes in has to start games. If he was to be signed today, I wouldn't be surprised if he started one of the next 2 Premier League games. We play on Saturday, then Tuesday. It's perfectly feasible that we might have a new striker in the squad at least for the West Brom game. Should we get moving? And this is a big point. This is my thing. In the summer, part of the reason we ended up with Saïd Benrahma is because David Moyes couldn't get his number one choice. It was revealed, if you want, that Eberechi Eze was who he wanted. Now, a lot of people said, well, but do you know that? It might not be true and stuff. I do believe it was. David Moyes has confirmed since that we wanted Eze, but he had no money. We needed to move players out in order to go and buy players. And at that point, we hadn't sold anyone. There was no fund in the kitty, so we had to almost allow Crystal Palace to have an uncontested swoop for Eze. Now, should we have went toe-to-toe with Palace, he still might have went to Selhurst Park. That's not my point here. My point is, David Moyes was unable to go and try and sign his number one target. He ended up with Saïd Benrahma. Like I said, has it been a success so far? It's not been a failure. It's far too early to call it either way, but it's definitely not been a success. Sofal was signed in the summer. He's been a success. Benrahma was signed in the summer. He's not been a success as yet. And a big factor has to be down to the fact that David Moyes never got his man. Now, the reason for this, or the reason I want to speak about this, is because right now we have an advantage. We've sold Sebastian Haller very early on in the transfer window. We now have an advantage over other clubs of our ability, of our level, our position in the Premier League. If they're looking at players, they might also need to shift players on. We're being told that Everton might want Felipe Anderson. However, it depends on Bernard joining Roma. They're now in that situation. Now, really, Everton have got a bit of cash anyway, should they need to get someone in. They're looking at Josh King and stuff. But we know West Ham have £22 million, and this is why I'm perhaps a little bit more impatient this window than I have been in previous ones, because you can't just go spend money willy-nilly. I get that, but we've now got money there. We've got the Diangana money left over. I do believe that's allocated for Saïd Benrahma, but we've now got Sebastian Haller money now, so there's definitely money there to be spent. And should David Moyes have chosen Boulaye Dia as his number one target, or anyone else as his number one target, then I want to see us make a serious bid for him, a serious move. Marseille are apparently in the running for Dia as well, and I will be a bit disappointed if we've missed out on Dia because we took too long to move for him if David Moyes wants this player. And now you can replace Dia with any other player, because Moyes should have identified his striker by now. I know last week he suggested that in his press conference for the Stockport game, he said, the bid for Sebastian Haller was a surprise. Well, if it was, or a surprise or not, it's insignificant here. We knew coming into this transfer window we needed a striker. Now, I personally didn't want one. If Sebastian Haller was staying, I would have been happy to continue the rest of the season with Antonio and Haller. And I know that's not popular, but the reason is purely a financial one. I would waited until the summer. We're not in a relegation battle. Let's wait till the summer and spend the money then. However, as soon as Sebastian Haller left, we needed a striker urgently. And a lot of people would have wanted a striker even with Sebastian Haller here. For us to come into this transfer window not having identified a striker to either come in and play alongside them or to replace either of them would be quite frankly ridiculous, because if there was any player likely to leave this transfer window, it was Sebastian Haller. There was a position we needed to sign. There was two: centre mid and or striker. That's it. So to not have a list of targets drawn up by mid-December at the very latest would be stupid. To come into January not having whittled that shortlist down into a priority of 1 to 4 or whatever in terms of your targets, who you want to go get, is... There's no excuse for it. I almost said the word unorganised. I think it's a lot worse than that, to be honest with you. I don't know what the date is today. What is it, 13th or something? We're midway through January. We've got a double header coming up in the Premier League, and we've got one fit striker at the club in Mikel Antonio. Even then, he's not 100% fit. We saw that against Stockport. And if we've come off the pitch against Stockport having watched Mikel Antonio and not thought we need to get our finger out here, we really need to ramp up this trying to get a striker when we need to crank this up tenfold. And I know you can't do transfers just like that. I know it's not possible. But is it? Because David Moyes himself told us Sebastian Haller's bid from Ajax was a surprise. So it was possible for them to get a deal done in about 2 days. Why? Why was it possible for them and not us? Well, we know why. They threw money at Sebastian Haller because they needed him in for the PSV game. But do you know what I'm trying to say here? I'm probably making a bad go of this, but what I'm trying to say is David Moyes told us that deal got done like that, so there's almost no excuse for West Ham to say, well, transfers take ages. Well, actually, we just completed the sale of a player that took 2 days, and I'm getting a little bit frustrated. I'm usually quite calm. I'm usually really calm for these transfer windows. If you've been watching us for a few years, you'll know when it comes to, I'll tell you what, if you go back to transfer deadline day last year when the Jaded Bowen thing was happening, and everybody was getting a bit worked out. I kept doing update videos throughout the day. I kept saying, innit, chill, it's alright, it's happening. It's happening, it takes a while. These things take a few hours, it's alright. And I'm still confident we'll get a striker in the January transfer window. Am I confident it's going to be Moyes' number one target? No. Am I confident he's going to be in time to play against West Brom should he need to? Not really. But I don't think there's any excuse either. We've sold Sebastian Haller. The funds are there. We should have identified players well before selling Sebastian Haller. Anyway, just on the off chance it goes. But anyway, that's pretty much it really. A bit of a frustrated Gio tonight, if you like. I think it's maybe because I watched Burnley last night and I saw how organised they are and how good they were, and I thought, we're going to need someone. We're going to need a bit of something to break them down. Anyway, that's all I've got to say. But I'll tell you what, there's a second part to this video. I'm not recording it yet. I'm going to record it in a few days. There's a second part to this video I want to discuss. I want to discuss transfers. Something in the old think bank. I've wrote it down so I won't forget, but it's not really a time constraint on it. Tomorrow night we've got the preview. We've got the Burnley preview tomorrow night at some point. Got lots of videos for the patrons coming up because we've got lots of games coming up. It means lots of videos for patrons. Massive thank you to everybody that's become one over the festive period. We had a few people join up on the festive period. It means the absolute world. If everybody watching this put in £1 a month, myself and Gonzo will be able to do this full time. Simple as that. And I know not everybody can spare a quid, and we're not asking for you to pay £1 every month and stuff. It's just a hypothetical situation. So thank you to the support. It's been fantastic. And drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new around here, and hopefully soon we'll have a striker. But I'm not very hopeful.